Pelestarian terumbu karang di Great Barrier Reef benar-benar terancam. Dalam kurun waktu 7 tahun, peneliti mengklaim bahwa proses bleaching terumbu karang tahun ini merupakan satu dari 4 kasus kerusakan yang terparah dan masif. Dr. Selina Ward, yang merupakan ilmuwan biologi dari Universitas Queensland, adalah saksinya. Proses bleaching ini mulanya imbas dari siklus La Nina yang sebabkan penurunan suhu laut ke titik rendah. Lalu, datang siklus El Nino yang kuat dugaan mempercepat proses bleaching pada terumbu karang. Bagi ilmuwan seperti Selina, memutihnya terumbu karang di kawasan Great Barrier Reef Coral jadi penanda bahwa perubahan iklim nyata adanya.
Imagine a colorful ocean, to thousands of fish and sea creatures slowly turning into white. This is what's happening in the Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef.
Coral bleaching is a condition where the water temperatures rise and the coral begin to lose their color. Because the algae that gives it color leaves and seeks other corals in more normal temperature water. The first condition or the first occurrence was around 1979 to 1978. The worst occurred in 2024 the Great Barrier Reef in Queensland, Australia. The animals inhabiting that area were also affected because of the loss of their breeding habitat, as well as the tourism operators will lose their income.
According to the region from the Australian Institute of Marine Science, or ANI, Australian Great Barrier Reef has experienced a further decline in coral cover in its northern and southern areas over the past 39 years. This decline is due to a mass coral bleaching event, one of the worst on this history. Coral cover has dropped by between a quarter and third of the several years of solid growth, indicating increased quality and ecosystem stress. Since 2016, the reef has experienced 5 mass bleaching events during the summer, with the largest bleaching event occurring in 2024. The Great Barrier Reef stretches approximately 2,300 kilometers with a total coral ecosystem area of approximately 244,400 square kilometers. Area survey indicates that approximately 73% of the 1,080 coral reef assets in the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park have experienced bleaching. So, in our opinion, coral bleaching is just a marine problem. It's a problem for all of us. We believe what is happening to the Great Barrier Reef right now is both devastating and urgent. According to the report, over 84% of the world coral reef, including those in the Great Barrier Reef, are affected by extreme heat, which is causing many coral to bleach and burden their survival. We can save coral reef by taking small steps instead of conserving energy, like turning off lights or fans not in use at home. Can reduce global warming and also reduce the use of plastic, preventing it from being carried into the ocean and damage and polluting coral reef.
The main cause of Great Barrier Reef coral bleaching is global warming. Coral bleaching is a response to major coral stress, which causes corals to release their symbiotic algae, turn white, and sometimes die. Global warming could be the main cause of coral bleaching on the Great Barrier Reef due to a drastic increase in sea temperatures. This triggers thermal stress on corals, then the coral releases zooxanthellae algae. Thermal stress on corals on the Great Barrier Reef is a condition where sea temperatures increase drastically, and it will last long for a long time period. Then there is also another cause, namely water pollution. This can occur because pollutants from agricultural runoff and sediment create chronic environmental stress to reduce coral resilience to hot seawater temperatures. Then the Great Barrier Reef bleaching can also be caused by overfishing because it can cause a reduction in Cape Coral Reef diminishes and damage of the coral habitat itself. Global warming is primarily caused by human activity, including deforestation and other activities that contribute to global warming. Deforestation and human activity can be the primary causes of global warming, as they increase the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. It can also be caused by natural factors such as marine heat wave and the El Nino water pattern. The El Nino weather pattern also plays a major role in causing extreme increase in sea surface temperatures.
So, humans are deforesting excessively and not replanting, resulting in warmer weather. Hot weather makes ocean waves hotter, which is why coral bleaching occurs on the reef. The Great Barrier Reef also impacts the ecosystem because the coral reef is in violet phase. The volatile phase is a state where something evaporates easily.
So, the impact affects the livelihood of many people, including fishermen and others. Marine workers, as fish population decline and disturb the marine food chain. Small fish die, leaving larger fish without food and humans without food. Besides fish, coral bleaching in the Great Barrier Reef can also impact marine reptiles such as sea turtles. Sea turtles can feel the impact of coral bleaching on the Great Barrier Reef because they rely heavily on coral reef for food.
So, the impact can be short-term if we repair and restore properly. However, if this condition persists and is not immediately bleached or repaired, the impact can persist over the long term. The immediate short-term impact is coral discoloration and stress. The coral turn into a pale white color because they release a suntail algae that live in their tissues, which are the coral primary food source. A proven long-term impact is the flattening of reef structure, complex branching coral and this great living flat reef. It reduces biodiversity and coastal protection.
The impact is very large. Many fish lose their habitats and food sources. Fishermen may lose their livelihoods, and marine tourism will also decrease. If coral reefs are damaged, the balance of the marine ecosystem will be disturbed. Our proposed solution are coral transformation programs, restriction on tourism activities around Great Barrier Reef, and reducing global carbon emissions. Coral transformation helps restore damaged coral reef by reattaching live coral to affected areas and accelerating reef recovery. Restricting tourism activities protects sensitive reef areas to maintain their sustainability. Meanwhile, reducing global carbon emissions can lower sea temperatures, reduce ocean acidification, and give coral reefs and surrounding biodiversity time to recover naturally. Communities, government, and companies are working together to implement solutions to restore coral reefs. Companies can implement coral transformation by cutting coral and planting the fragments in special media. Companies can also limit tourism activities around Great Barrier Reef by establishing protected zones and educating tourists about coral reef conservation. Furthermore, companies can also support carbon emission reduction through campaigns encouraging the use of public transportation, reducing the risk of and reducing waste burning.
The government can support coral transplantation programs through budgetary assistance, monitoring transplantation sites, and constructing barriers around areas. The government can also empower coastal communities through coral transplantation training and education on coral reef protection and restoration, enabling them to become active participants in environmental conservation.
Also, the public can contribute by donating to coral transplantation programs, participating in educational programs, complying with tourism restrictions around the GBR or Great Barrier Reef, and reducing carbon emission by using public transportation, conserving electricity and water, and implementing the 3R principle: reduce, reuse, and recycle.
This can be achieved by initiating coral transplantation program. First, communities and government can work together to raise funds to support the coral transplantation program. Second, companies carry out the coral transplantation safely and in accordance with regulation, while the government limits the program area and communities comply with this regulation to ensure a smooth recovery process. Once the program is underway, communities and the government can restrict tourism access to sensitive coral reef areas to allow the corals recover properly. The government can also empower communities by educating them about the dangers of carbon emission to terrestrial, aquatic, and air ecosystems, and their impact on global warming, which causes coral bleaching on the Great Barrier Reef. Furthermore, companies can also encourage communities to reduce carbon emissions by using public transportation, reducing coal-fired electricity, and reducing waste burning. Communities can also contribute by planting trees and complying with government and company regulations and recommendations to help accelerate coral bleaching on the Great Barrier Reef.